الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن سيدنا محمدا عبده ورسوله اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على سيدنا محمد النبي الأمي وآله وصحبه أما بعد. My dear children, my dear brothers and sisters, السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. In few days, inshallah, we are going to start the fast of Ramadan. And I thought this Friday and next Friday, inshallah, I'll talk about the etiquettes and the virtues of the fast and try to understand how are we going to cope with the long days of the summer, inshallah. Fasting, what is the meaning of fasting? What do we fast from? From any food and sex. And what about drink? Yes. Okay, thank you very much indeed. Okay. Now, according to the English Oxford Dictionary, let me read what is the definition of fast. Because when we say it to non-Muslims, that's the only thing they understand. Okay? It says, abstain from all or some kinds of food as religious observers, or in sign of mourning. Go without food. So they never mention the two things you said, drink and sexual desires. Don't feel embarrassed. You see, if you feel embarrassed, you'll never teach your children. Never. لا حياء في الدين. Prophet ﷺ said, you should never feel embarrassed to learn about your religion. So when we fast, we abstain from food, drink, and the fulfillment of any sexual desires in any form. We fast from when? From what time to what time? Are you sure? Not from sunrise to sunset? Alhamdulillah. Okay. Because the government issued a document regarding diabetes and fasting, and in the document it says we fast from sunrise to sunset. Okay? So we fast from dawn. And dawn is approximately how many hours before sunrise?
Half an hour to 45 minutes.
Okay, no, I would say 1.5 hours to 2 hours. In the summer, I'm talking about the summer, in this part of the world, it's all estimates. It's all estimates. During June, July, and August, the time of Fajr is an estimate, is an assumption, but the minimum is 1 hour and 30 minutes. We just published a timetable for Ramadan, and we adopted the 1 hour and 50 minutes. If you want to fast from 1 hour, 2 hours before dawn, it's your choice. You want 1 hour and 45 minutes, your choice. But minimum 1 hour and 30 minutes. What are the virtues of fasting? The hadith I'm about to read, part of it, the first part is Qudsi. Qudsi means it relates, it refers to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Something Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying. And then the rest of the hadith, something the Prophet ﷺ is saying. عن أبي هريرة أن رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم قال, the Prophet ﷺ said, قال الله عز وجل, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, كل عمل ابن آدم له إلا الصيام فإنه لي وأنا أجدي به. Every action of the son of Adam, every deed you do is for him. But the fast is for me, and I give the reward for it. Any act we do, if you are standing there praying, people can see it, yes? If you give it charity, people can see it. If you are sitting down reading the Quran, people can see it. But the fast, nobody can see it. Your suffering may be more than mine. You might find fasting very difficult, but you are still fasting. And I don't know this. And that's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, أَمَّا الصَّوْمُ فَهُوَ لِي. The son of Adam, when he fasts for Allah. And Allah is the only one who knows how much pain or suffering or how much devotion or your spiritual sense while you are fasting. These are only known to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And accordingly he says, وَأَنَا أَجْلِي بِهِ. It's me who gives the reward for it. Then the Prophet ﷺ continues by saying, وَالصِّيَامُ جُنَّةٌ. A shield. Like having a shield in front of you to protect you from evil. فَإِذَا كَانَ يَوْمُ صَوْمِ أَحَدِكُمْ. So, the day you are fasting, there are certain etiquettes, protocols which you have to follow. Number one, فَلَا يَرْفُث. No foul language. If you have been doing this all the time, when you do a fast, I'm talking about the virtue of fasting, whether the fast of Ramadan or any fast. While you are in a state of fasting, you should never use foul language. You are not depriving yourself from the food and the drink and other things, but this should not be foul. Of course, during the whole year it shouldn't, but specifically in Ramadan, you must control it. وَلَا يَسْخَبْ, not to raise his voice and start to have an argument, and Satan comes in and we fight with each other, insult each other. No. وَلَا يَجْهَلْ, not to behave foolishly. فَإِنْ شَاتَمَهُ أَحَدٍ, if someone reviles him or provokes him, أَوْ قَاتَلَهُ, or fights with him, what should he say? I am fasting. He's not going to punch him, is he? No, I am fasting twice. Why are you doing that? To remind yourself to control yourself. Fine. Then the Prophet ﷺ continues. وَالَّذِي نَفْسُ مُحَمَّدْ بِيَدِهِ, I swear by the one who has the soul of Muhammad in his hands. Who is he? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. لَخَلُوفُ فَمُ الصَّائِمِ, the breath, the bad breath of someone who is fasting, أَطْيَبُ عِنْدَ اللَّهِ يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ مِنْ رِيحِ الْمِسْكِ. In the sight of Allah on the day of judgment, this smell will be better than the smell of the musk. So don't feel embarrassed. Sometimes I feel very embarrassed to come near someone who is not fasting and say, I'm very sorry, forgive me, I have a very bad breath because I'm fasting. You feel you are embarrassed. But remember that this smell in the sight of Allah on the day of judgment will be much, much better than the smell of the musk. وَلِلصَّائِمِ فَرْحَتَانِ يَفْرَحُهُمَا, and for some who is fasting, he has two occasions to rejoice. إِذَا أَفْطَرَ فَرِحَ بِفِطْرِهِ, when he breaks the fast, he rejoices that Alhamdulillah, Allah enabled him to continue the fast, and Allah enabled him to, or gave him something to break his fast on, and so on. وَإِذَا لَقِيَ رَبَّهُ فَرِحَ بِصَوْمِهِ, and when he meets his Lord, he will rejoice because of his fast, because of the reward Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to give him on the day of judgment, inshallah. Rawahu Ahmad wa Muslim wa Nasa'i. In the narration of Al-Bukhari and Abi Dawood, there is an extra bit at the end. It says, يَتْرُكُ طَعَامَهُ وَشَرَابَهُ وَشَهْوَتُهُ مِنْ أَجْلِ, he abstains from his food, his drink, and his desires for my own sake, to please Allah. الصيام لي, fasting is for me, وأنا أجدي به, and it is me who gives the reward for it. وَالْحَسَنَةُ بِعَشْرَةِ أَمْثَالِهَا, every good deed will receive 10 times similar to it. Abdullah ibn Amr reports that the Prophet ﷺ said, fasting and recitation of the Quran will intercede on your behalf on the day of judgment. Can you imagine? The fast, any fast you do, and the recitation of the Quran will intercede on your behalf on the day of judgment. The fast will say, oh my Lord, I have prevented him from his food and his desires by day. Let me intercede on his behalf, please. And the Quran will say, I stopped him from sleeping at night. Please, let me intercede on his behalf. فَيُشَفَّعَانِ, and their intercession will be accepted. Rawahu Ahmad بِسَنَدٍ صحيح. It's a hadith sahih by Ahmad. Abi Umama said, I came to the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam and I said to him, advise me or command me to do a deed which will ensure that I will go to Jannah. Murni bi'amalin tudkhilul Jannah. Brother Hafiz, there is a space here. A lot of spaces here. Come. Murni bi'amalin yudkhilul Jannah. Command me to do one deed which will guarantee that I enter Jannah. He said, alayka bis-sawm فإنه لا عدل له. Stick to fasting. It has no equivalent to it. So this man, Abi Umama, says, I came another time, as if he wanted to check the Prophet ﷺ again. I came another time and said the same thing to him. Prophet ﷺ said, عليك بالصيام. Stick to fasting. Another hadith reported by the group except Abu Dawood, Abi Sa'id al-Khudri says that the Prophet ﷺ said, لا يصوم عبد يوما في سبيل الله إلا باعد الله بذلك اليوم النار عن وجهه 70 خريفا. If you fast one day, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will keep the hellfire away from your face 70 distance equivalent to walking 70 years. 70 خريفا. So you can imagine just one day. Now, there are two types of fasting, either voluntary or compulsory. Yes? Now, voluntary like what? You can fast Monday and Thursday every week. You can fast one day on, one day off like Dawood alayhi salam. Prophet ﷺ said this is the best form of fast. You can fast the white days of the moon, 13, 14, 15. You can fast most of Sha'ban as the Prophet ﷺ used, and so on. Okay? And the compulsory, we have three types of compulsory fast. Who can remind me of the three types of compulsory fast? Ramadan. Oath, yes. Oath and? No? Yes, which is known as expiation of kafara. So Sawm Ramadan, the fast of Ramadan. Sawm Nadr, and Nadr means when you say, I promise that if my wife will recover, I'll fast 3 days. Or if I pass my exam, Yusuf, yes? If I pass my exam, I'll fast 1 day. Okay? This becomes Nadr, a vow. You have to, it becomes compulsory, obligatory. Or, God forbid, you do something wrong. For example, you kill someone by mistake, you fast 60 days. A man divorces his wife using a form used to be called al-dhihar. You are on my back like my mother. He fasts 60 days. In the Hajj in the Hajj, you can fast 3 days there and 7 when you come back if you can't afford to slaughter something because you did Umrah and Hajj together. Or if you have to shave your head because you had a disease, or you had to wear normal, and so on. So these are expiations, kaffarat. Okay, or you make an oath and you want to go back on your oath. Yes, I swear by God I'll do this and that, and then you don't do it. فَكَفَّارَةُ أَيْمَانِكُمْ, that you fast 3 days. Okay, so, but now let's talk about Ramadan. Now this is very interesting. Why do we have to fast in Ramadan? Why? I mean, Prophet ﷺ was born in Rabi' al-Awwal, died in Rabi' al-Awwal, immigrated from Mecca to Medina in Rabi' al-Awwal. My goodness, 3 very important events. Yes? Agreed? Yes. Why don't we fast Rabi' al-Awwal? Why Ramadan? Why Ramadan? What is okay? Sha'ban is why don't we fast Dhul Hijjah? Important month. Quran was revealed in the month of Ramadan. To commemorate this, we fast Ramadan. So, Dhul Hijjah, a very important month for Hajj, but we don't fast it. Sha'ban is the month during which the deeds are presented to Allah. We don't fast it, do we? Rabi' al-Awwal? No, but we must fast Ramadan. Why Ramadan? Because of the Quran. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is attracting our attention to the importance of the Quran by saying to us, fast, Shahru Ramadan. When you are fasting and you read the Quran, spiritually, it has a completely different effect on you when you are not fasting. You will notice this while you are fasting and reading the Quran. Spiritually, you are so prepared to accept the message and absorb the message and understand the message. Is it compulsory to fast Ramadan? Is it a rock? Is it a pillar of the... Yes? Yes. Okay. And where is the source? The consensus? And according to the book? It is, yes. So let's read the verse together and then I will go... when was it... when did it become compulsory? In Mecca? So not in Mecca. What was made compulsory in Mecca? The prayer, Salah, as I said last week and the week before, it was the prayers which were made compulsory while the Prophet ﷺ was in Mecca. And then when he went to Medina, it became compulsory on Monday, the 2nd of Sha'ban, the 2nd year of Hijrah. 2nd of Sha'ban. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave the believers a notice of 28 days to start the fast. He prepared them mentally 28 days before Ramadan to start the fast. could you please all move? Everybody, please, everybody to move forward. Don't worry where you pray. Inshallah, you will all pray. I have no problem with the prayer. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم يا أيها الذين آمنوا. So the message here is to whom? To the believers. O you who believe. It's not يا أيها الناس. It's not يا أهل الكتاب. It's not يا بني إسرائيل. يا أيها الذين آمنوا. O you who you believe. كتب عليكم الصيام. Fasting is prescribed to you. كما كتب على الذين من قبلكم. As it was prescribed to those before you. What is the wisdom in fasting? لعلكم تتقون. So the reason we fast is to learn self-restraint. We will learn how to ward off evil. We will become righteous. So in other words, during the whole year, your desires were in control of you. The desire to eat, the desire to drink, the desire to have intimate relationship. You were controlled by your desires the whole year round. And then Ramadan comes when you become in charge of your desires. You are holding the reins and you are really in charge. Before you start to do this or that, you will remind yourself that you are fasting and you say, I'm sorry, I can't do it. It doesn't mean when you break your fast, you start to commit evil. No. The whole idea, you are going to have, inshallah, 30 days of, you know, the athletes who are going to compete in the Olympics in few days, they spend a very long time training. Very, very strict form of training to be able to win a gold or a silver. We are in the same situation like that. We have to fight against all evil to be able to win the battle at the end of the month. The marathon will stop at the end of the month. You will be presented by your certificates and rewards and prizes. So you need to work very hard. It's a marathon, the month of Ramadan. You are fasting during the day and you are working. You are not sleeping in bed until 1 o'clock in the afternoon. You go to work in the morning and you concentrate on your work. And then you pray Taraweeh prayer. Of course, the 5 daily prayers are more important than the Taraweeh. So those who only come for Taraweeh and don't pray their 5 daily prayers, it's not nice. And then the last 10 nights, we do our tahajjud. Whether you do it in your bedroom or you do it in a mosque, they're all acceptable. So it's a marathon. So psychologically and physically, we have to be ready to go through this marathon for 30 days, inshallah. And then at the end, we'll all receive our prizes.
Achieving the taqwa.
You achieve the taqwa, and you will get the prize according to how much you did during the month. Whether gold or silver. What is the other one? Bronze. No, I think, inshallah, we'll all get gold, inshallah. Inshallah. So that was verse 183. O you who believe, fasting is prescribed to you as it was prescribed to those before you, that you may learn self-restraint, you may ward off evil, you may fear Allah, you may become righteous. In the next verse, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, fasting for a fixed number of days, ayyaman ma'dudat. They are not the whole year. You can count them to make it easy for you. Ayyaman ma'dudat. But if any of you is ill or on a journey, the prescribed number should be made up from days later. For those who can do it with hardship is a ransom, the feeding of one that is poor or in need. But he that gives more of his own free will, it is better for him. And it's better for you that you fast if you only knew. Ramadan is the month in which was sent down the Quran as a guide to mankind, also clear signs for guidance and judgment between right and wrong. So every one of you who is present at his home during that month should spend it in fasting. But if anyone is ill or on a journey, the prescribed period should be made up by days later. Allah intends every facility for you. He does not want to put you to difficulties. He wants you to complete the prescribed period and to glorify Him in that He has guided you, and perchance you may be grateful. you may be thankful. You may say, thank you, Allah, for enabling me to fast Ramadan, forgiving all my sins, inshallah. So these were the verses in the Quran where clearly Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us the rules and regulations regarding the fast. And again, if you continue after that to verse 186, 187 and so on, you will find even Allah clearly states the time of starting, the time of ending and so on. So now let me talk about some of the virtues of Ramadan. Prophet ﷺ, when Ramadan came, he said, قَدْ جَاءَكُمْ شَهْرٌ مُبَارَكٌ. A blessed month has come to you. Allah ordained the fast of it on you. During this month, the gates of Jannah, the gates of paradise will open, and the gates of the hellfire will close. And the Satans will be chained. In it there is a night which is better than 1,000 months. Whoever is deprived of its good is really deprived of something great. What is this night? Laylatul Qadr. What is the meaning of Qadr? What is Qadr? Eh? Power. Yes. Honor. Greatness. What does happen every year on Laylatul Qadr? Every mosque is full. Okay. I love this. The angels, exactly. تتنزل الملائكة والروح فيها. The only time where Archangel Gabriel will come every year. Laylatul Qadr. الروح, Jibril alayhi salam, والملائكة, all the angels will descend. That's right. And the mosque will be full. Alhamdulillah. I need someone to... okay, I'll talk about this later when we finish, inshallah. And another hadith which ends by a caller, an angel will say, O you who intend to do good deeds, have glad tidings, and O you who intend to do evil, refrain. Prophet ﷺ said, this hadith is reported by Ahmad and companions of the traditions, whoever will fast Ramadan, imanan wa ihtisaban, with faith and seeks Allah's pleasure and reward, غُفِرَ لَهُ مَا تَقَدَّمَ مِنْ ذَنْبِهِ. All his past sins will be forgiven, inshallah. Has in fact atoned for any sins he committed before. Okay? مَنْ صَامَ رَمَضَانَ وَعَرَفَ حُدُودَهُ. Whoever would fast Ramadan, obeying all its limits, and guarded himself against what is forbidden, كَفَّرَ مَا قَبْلَهُ. It will atone all his sins or previous sins. Now let me mention when was that? Last Thursday when we had the diabetic clinic. Friday. Brothers and sisters, we are so grateful to the doctors who came last Friday to talk to us about, and the nurse to talk to us about diabetes and how can patients ensure that if they adjust their medication in certain way, they might be able to fast for long hours. Having said so, I'm going to give the Islamic perspective regarding this as well. Those who are permitted not to fast, but must pay a ransom for not fasting. We have three different types of people. First group, those who are permitted not to fast, but must pay a ransom for not fasting. The second group, those who are permitted not to fast, but later they must make up the days they missed. And the third group, those who must fast and must make up the missed days. So let's start to talk about the first group. Let's assume someone is chronically ill, terminally ill. Do you expect him to fast? No. Suppose someone is so old and feeble, and he would find it very difficult to fast any time during the year. Not just in the summer, but he cannot also do the days in the winter when the days are short. Can he fast? No. Suppose someone works or he is doing hard labor in the heat, in the sun. Can he fast? Can he fast? He can't find any other job. And he's finding it, he's asphalting the roads in Karachi now, or in Cairo. The temperature is 50. 48 in Mecca. Okay? Can he fast? No. Can he make up the days later? If he can, fine, no problem. But this group, those who are permitted not to fast, but they must pay a ransom for not fasting. So this person who's chronically ill, or terminally ill, or have a major illness which he cannot fast any other time during the year, he's going to feed a number of poor people equal to the days he didn't fast. Let's say Ramadan happened this year to be 30 days. He will have to feed 30 people, poor people, from the same food he eats, the same quality, the same quantity. But suppose he has no money. He doesn't do anything. And that's why fasting, he couldn't fast. He hasn't got the means to feed. That's it, done. The second group, those who are permitted not to fast, but later they must make up the days they missed. Fine, I'm taking a flight tomorrow, for example, from here to New York. Tomorrow is the first day of Ramadan, say, and I'm flying with the sun. So I'm going to fast for about 24, 25 hours. I have the right not to fast, and I have the right to fast. I have the concession. So you might be traveling on a plane going to Mecca to do your Umrah in Ramadan, and the person next to you is wearing his ihram and he's eating. And the other one next to him is wearing his ihram, he's not eating, he's fasting. That's his choice. So if you are traveling or you are temporarily ill, let's say someone had terrible flu, severe chest infection, or severe pain in stomach, whatever, and you had to go to hospital, you break your fast for the number of the days, 1 week, 2 weeks, 4, 5, whatever, and then you make up the days later, and you have the right to make up the days when the days are very short. You have the right to do that. So you can fast in the winter. So those who are allowed or permitted not to fast, but later they must make up the days they missed. So if you have missed any days last Ramadan, have you already fasted then before the next Ramadan? Or you still owe the debt to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? The third group, those who must not fast and must not make up, and must make up the missed days, like for example, a woman who had her period, she is not allowed to fast, or in the case of giving a birth to a child, post natal, then she also has the right not to fast. So you are the doctor of yourself, not your GP. Everyone is the doctor of himself. You know exactly your limitations. You know exactly how would you perform if you take this medication, if you use long-acting antibiotics or long-acting injection for diabetes. You know exactly how your body is going to respond. Remember that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the same ayah, He says, Allah doesn't want to place any hardship on you. Allah wants ease for you. Do not endanger your life. Seek the advice of your GP, whether Muslim or non-Muslim. You are the doctor of yourself. Look into your medication and see the day is very long and the hours of breaking the fast is very short. What medication I'm going to take immediately when I break my fast, and what medication I'm going to take before dawn when I take my sahur. So please, it is your responsibility to look after your health. It's not just your GP's responsibility, it's your responsibility. Assess your conditions and make sure if you can fast, fast. It's highly recommended, but do not endanger your life. This is a very clear message in the Quran. You see, for example, Ibn Abbas said, Ibn Umar and Ibn Abbas, both of them said, a pregnant woman and a woman who is giving breastfeeding, if they are worried about themselves or their children, they have the right to break the fast. وَعَلَيْهِمَا الْفِدْيَةِ وَلَا قَضَاءَ عَلَيْهِمَا. They can pay the ransom and they don't have to make up the days. According to Al-Ahnaf and Abi Ubaid and Abi Thawr, they are of the opinion they have to make up the days and they don't feed any poor people. So the choice is yours. When my wife was pregnant in the 3 children, she fasted every Ramadan because that was her condition. There are other women who couldn't. So you have the choice either to feed or to make up the days. According to Ibn Abbas and Ibn Umar, it's so more merciful because they don't have to make up the days because they are still breastfeeding as well for minimum 2 years. What are the essential elements of the fast? What we call arkan as-sawm, the essential elements of the fast. We have 2 essential elements. Number 1, to abstain from those acts that break the fast from dawn to sunset. And number 2, an-niyyah, the intention. So you must have the niyyah of fasting. With these 2, you comply with the 2 essential elements of the fast. Next week, inshallah, I'm going to start to talk about the etiquettes of the fast and what would nullify the fast, what is permissible, what is not permissible during the fast, inshallah. As you know, we are expecting Ramadan, inshallah, either on Friday the 20th, if Sha'ban is 29 days, or Saturday the 21st of July, inshallah. So there was an article by Al Jazeera from the Observatory Center in Jordan, in Amman. They said it is impossible to view or to sight the moon on Thursday. It's impossible because it will set before the sunset, or it may stay after the sunset for a very, very short time. So I hope the Muslims will be united as they were united in the beginning of Sha'ban this year. I mean, a lot of Muslim countries started at the right time. Right, so we have few announcements to make very quickly, please. Taraweeh prayers will begin on either Thursday 19th of July or Friday 20th of July after Isha, which will be conducted at 10:30. So on that day, we will not pray Maghrib and Isha Jam'a Taqdeem. People will be at home breaking their fast and then they come here to pray Isha, inshallah.